कैसे हैं? I hope all are well. And today topic again, it is very interesting. Today we are going to discuss accounts, records, and then we will move to e-way bill topic. Very good evening, Uja Jini and Hemant. First, we are starting with accounts and records. We have discussed invoicing, type of the document in the last class. Today we are going to cover accounts, records, etc. What is the requirement? When we will read this section 35, please note, we will read either every registered person, and sometime we will read every registered person other than composition. Can you tell me quickly what is the threshold limit? What is the upper limit for composition levy scheme? क्या आप मुझे क्विकली आंसर कर सकते हैं चैट में? कंपोजिशन की अपर स्कीम कितनी, अपर लिमिट कितनी है? What is the upper limit for composition scheme? Answer is 1.5 crore in special category. What is the special category state का limit? Special category state का limit कितना है? It is 75 lakhs. And for one category of the composition, that is 10 subsection 2A, the limit is 50 lakhs. Every registered person shall keep and maintain at his principal place of business as mentioned in the registration certificate true and correct account of following. It means every registered person, will it include composition? Answer is yes. Every registered person, whether you are registered as a composition or you are registered as a casual category or you are registered as a normal category, every category of the taxpayer shall keep and maintain the following books of accounts. It includes production or manufacturing of the goods, inward and outward supplies, stock, ITC availed, output tax payable and paid, such other particular as may be prescribed. Provided that where more than one place of the business is specified in the certificate, account relating to each place of the business shall be kept at such place of business. Can you please answer my question? I am registered in, let's say, Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, can I add as an additional place of business one warehouse which is located in Gurgaon, that is in Haryana state? क्या मैं राजस्थान में, राजस्थान के जीएसटी नंबर में, can I add the warehouse located in Haryana as an additional place of business? Answer is no. Why no? The reason is you need to take a separate registration for Haryana. You need to take a separate registration for Haryana. Fine. Now it says that it can be maintained in the electronic form as may be prescribed. Regarding this, we'll read the rule 58. 57, 56, 54. We will read multiple rules. Rule 54 we have already discussed in the last class. Fine, let's move further. Now, every owner or operator of warehouse or godown or any other place used for storage, irrespective whether he is registered person or not. Please underline this word and always remember the GST law is creating the responsibility to keep books of accounts, to keep some records, even to unregistered person. Point to be noted, जब हमने सबसेक्शन 1 रीड किया था, it was for every registered person, but now we are checking that it is irrespective whether it is registered or not on every person. No, they are saying owner or operator of the warehouse or godown. Why they are saying? Because they are keeping the goods of some other person. Then they have to maintain the record of consignor, consignee, and such other relevant detail as may be prescribed. एक बात बताइए, please tell me, if it is written as may be prescribed, इसका मतलब क्या है? What does it mean? If it is written as may be prescribed, what does it mean?
To see the rules.
Absolutely. Yes. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि we have to check some other rules. So rules will tell what would be the manner which records need to be kept. So we will read some rule also in this regard. Remember, you please note down somewhere 35 subsection 2 is applicable on owner or operator of the warehouse or godown or transporter. That is okay. Commissioner has the power to notify some additional accounts and records. That is also power of the commissioner. Consider that any class of the taxable person is not in the position to keep and maintain the accounts, then reason to be recorded in writing permitting such class of the person as may be prescribed. Fine. Very important. Subsection 6 says subject to the provision of 17(5)(h). Please tell me what is this? Please tell me what is the 17(5)(h). क्या चीज के रिगार्ड में बात करता है 17(5)(h)?
Sir, block credit.
Block credit. Very good evening, Venkata Harshit Kumar. Blocked credit. Absolutely correct. So it talks about the 17(5) is basic the block credit, and clause H is lost, goods lost, destroys, sample. You remember, if the goods has been lost or destroys or has been disposed of by way of the sample or free gift, then you need to reverse the ITC. Correct? If you have taken the ITC. They are saying, and if you have not taken the ITC, then you can't take the ITC. Where the registered person failed to account for the goods, the proper officer shall determine the amount of the tax payable on the goods that are not accounted for, as if such goods has been supplied by that person, and the provision of 73 and 74. See, please note, you might see at multiple places section 74A has been added. This is effective from November 24. तो अगर आप मई में एग्जाम दे रहे हैं तो probably may applicable, may not applicable. So applicability of the amendment is being given in the Institute Board of Studies का material. ठीक है. But wherever I am written 74A, it is effective from 1st November 24. That is the point I like to add. Now, if the registered person failed to account for the goods in accordance with the subsection 1, then they will determine the liability as if the goods has been supplied by you. Now, very important rule, maintenance of accounts by registered person. Wherever we have discussed that you need to keep the document in such manner as may be prescribed, where it has been prescribed, Rule 56. Rule 56 is asking the basic different requirement in some cases. Now let's start. Every registered person shall keep and maintain, in addition to the particular in 35 subsection 1. So whatever the things are being there in the 35(1), production or manufacturing of the goods, detail of the supply of the goods or services, stock, whatever the detail we have discussed, in addition to that, every registered person shall keep and maintain the true and correct account of the goods and services imported, exported, RCM, along with the relevant document, including invoices, bill of supply, delivery challan, credit note, debit note, receipt voucher, payment voucher, and refund voucher. This is a quick revision for all the participants. Tell me, what is the receipt voucher? Kindly give me the answer in the chat. What is the meaning of receipt voucher? What is the meaning of receipt voucher? Venkat, I am waiting the reply from you also. You are giving the reply in the Board of Studies chat functionality. You are not in the Zoom, no problem, but kindly give the reply in that, because I would be able to see your message also. What is the meaning of payment voucher? Receipt voucher is the voucher when I am receiving the advance, whether it is for supply the goods or services, I need to issue. But what is the meaning of payment voucher? What is the meaning of payment voucher? Quickly give me the answer. What is the meaning of payment voucher? Answer is the payment voucher would be issued in case of reverse charge. Now next, subsection 2, sub-rule 2. Every payment voucher would be applicable in case of the RCM when the recipient is making the payment to the supplier, irrespective whether supplier is registered or not. Every registered person other than composition. Now, you will find some provision are applicable to every registered person. Some provision are applicable to other than composition, means normally regular category of the taxpayer. Shall maintain the accounts of the stock in respect of goods received and supplied by him. and such account shall contain the particular of opening balance, receipt, supply, goods lost, stolen, destroy, write off or disposed of by way of the gift or free sample, and balance of stock, including raw material, finished goods, scrap, and wastage thereof. Now, the subrule 2 is basically applicable other than composition. What they need to maintain? They need to maintain the accounts of the stock in respect of goods received and supplied, and such account shall maintain the particular of now the goods which I am receiving or goods which I am supplying. Then I have to maintain the opening balance, receipt, supply, goods lost, stolen, destroyed, write off, disposed of. This is exactly the same language of 17.5H. This is the exactly same language of 17.5H. Now, subrule 3 says that the details of advance received, paid, and adjustment made thereto. That detail also need to be maintained. Now, it is applicable on every registered person, means section 10 would also be covered in the requirement of advance received, paid, etc. Subrule 4 says every registered person, but again other than composition, shall keep and maintain the accounts containing the details of tax payable, including 9.3 and 9.4. What is the 9.3 and 9.4? Quickly tell me what is the 9.3 and 9.4. Yes, answer is it is reverse charge. It is reverse charge. Absolutely correct, Oja, Ginny, that section 9 is the charging section. But 9 subsection 3 and 9 subsection 4 is basically talking about the reverse charge. Tax collected, paid, ITC claimed together with the register of tax invoice, credit note, debit note, delivery challan received or issued during any tax period. Fine. As of now, we have completed section 35 and we have completed rule 56. एक बार रिवाइज कर लें. Quickly give me the answer. Quickly give me the answer. Quickly give me the answer that what are the accounts and records to be maintained by unregistered, by composition dealer or by regular dealer. You tell me any 4 or 5 records which need to be maintained by every category of the taxpayer. 3 or 4, 4, 5, whatever answer you can give. मुझे आप बताइए कौन कौन से वो रिकॉर्ड्स हैं जो मेंटेन करने पड़ेंगे to every category of the registered person. The answer is output, tax payable, absolutely correct. Production or manufacturing of the goods received, ITC availed, inward supplies, stock, ITC. ठीक है, काफी अच्छा आपने जवाब दिया. Very nice, thank you. Tell me whether Unregistered person is also required to be maintain the books of accounts as per the GST law. क्या अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन को भी कुछ बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स मेंटेन करना है क्या? Whether unregistered person is also required to maintain the books of accounts? If yes, then please give the answer. Which category of the unregistered person? क्या अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन को बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स मेंटेन करने के लिए जीएसटी लॉ बोल सकता है क्या? अगर आंसर आपका यस है, प्लीज गिव मी द कैटेगरी टू whom they are saying yes they need to maintain. हेमंत, इस बात से चलो मैं आई एक्सेप्ट योर आंसर. नाउ आई नीड दैट which type of those taxpayer, which type of those taxpayer, which type of those taxpayer? Absolutely correct. Transported, warehouse, or operator or owner of the warehouse or godown. Absolutely correct. Now let's move. Now let's move. That every registered person, देखिए, now try to understand that this requirement is shall keep the particular name and complete address of supplier from whom he has received the goods. Next, name and complete address of the person to whom he has supplied the goods. Third, the complete address and the premises. यहाँ पे वो सप्लायर की बात करता है, यहाँ पे वो कस्टमर की बात करता है, एंड यहाँ पे वो प्रीमाइजेस की बात करता है, where the goods are stored by him, including the goods stored during the transit along with the particular of the stock stored therein. Now, if any taxable goods are found to be stored other than those declared under sub rule 5, क्या मतलब हुआ? Suppose my goods are being kept in warehouse, but that warehouse is not added in my place of business. If you are keeping the goods other than those declared under sub rule 5 without the cover of valid document, it could be tax invoice, it could be delivery challan, it could be any other document which we have already discussed. अगर गुड्स वहां पे स्टोर है and officer not able to identify the relevant document, then officer will determine the amount of tax payable as if it has been supplied by the registered person. Fine. Now they are saying every registered person shall keep the books of accounts at the principal place of business. And books of accounts relating to additional place of business mentioned in the registration certificate, such books of accounts shall include any electronic forms of the data stored in the electronic device. What is the requirement of sub rule 7? It says that every registered person shall keep the books of accounts at principal place and additional place, and such books of accounts include the books of accounts which are maintained in the electronic form. ठीक है? Very important. Question is whether a proprietor. Whether a proprietor is required to maintain the log. See, in the law chapter, might be you have some requirement which is maintaining the log is applicable to the Companies Act. But whether GST is applicable only to the companies? No. GST is applicable to the every registered person. Try to understand what is the requirement. Entry in the registered shall not be erased. Entry in the register shall not be erased, effaced, or overwritten. And all incorrect entries, otherwise than those of clerical nature, shall be scored out under attestation. Meaning thereby, if you are maintaining the books of accounts manually, then you need to do the attestation. And the correct entry shall be recorded. And where the registered are maintained electronically, like for example, you are maintaining the record in the tally, then log has to be maintained for every entry edited or deleted. Try to understand the severity of this requirement. I'm a proprietor. My turnover is 45 lakhs. Assume my turnover is 45 lakh and I'm a proprietor. I'm an individual registered in the GST. Probably my accountant are keeping in the tally, but he does not have like audit log created because he is under the impression that audit is not applicable on this person because the turnover is below requirement. He is not the company's, therefore he is not required to maintain the log. But please read Rule 56 sub Rule 8. It says that every entry edited or deleted or erased, effaced, etc. log has to be maintained. Yes, Eman, whatever the accounting software you are using, so like Tally, I can give the example because it is normally more used by the chartered accountant comparatively. So Tally or any other ERP, whether it is Busy or whatever the accounting software, there would be the option of log. You need to open that log. You need to open that log. You have to click, or that will be some activation would be required. I don't know that ERP ka requirement, but yes, if you delete, then you can check in the audit log that who has deleted that entry, when it has been deleted, who has edited that entry. If these records, etc., any entry, any accounts which is deleted, edited, and log is not maintained, Rule 56.8, you are not doing the compliance. Is it clear? Make sense? एक बार कंफर्म करना, is it clear? Fine. Now they are saying that each volume of the book, अगर आप, if you are maintaining the books of accounts manually, no problem, you can maintain, but it should be serially numbered. Unless proved otherwise, if the document registered or any books of accounts belonging to the registered person are found at any premises other than those mentioned in the certificate, they shall be presumed to be maintained by the registered person. See, this is slight relaxation to the taxpayer. Normally, let's say I am taking my example only. Probably I will not keep my books of accounts in the location for which I have the registration. Normally, I will keep my books of accounts at my home. In that case, it is presumed that yes, I have maintained. Try to understand. See, let me go back. Let me go back. What we have discussed? Here we have discussed if you have more than one place of business, accounts relating to each place of the business shall be kept at such place of the business. If I go by the requirement of 35(1), it means you have to keep the books of accounts in the respective place only. But if I will read the requirement of the rule 56, sub rule 10, then I can say it is slightly relaxation to the taxpayer. It is slightly relaxation to the taxpayer that yes, the books of accounts are maintained at any premises other than those mentioned in the certificate, it is presumed that they has been maintained unless proved otherwise. It means हो सकता है कि उसका इंटेंशन गलत है, हो सकता है वो कुछ मैनिपुलेशन कर रहा है, whatever. These points are to be kept into the mind. Every agent referred to in section 2's clause 5. It means they are talking about agent, principal agent. Now this sub-rule 11 is the requirement for principal and agent relationship. Particular of authorization received by him from each principal to receive or supply. Suppose I am an agent, so whatever the authorization I am receiving to make the supply or to receive the supply. See, if you go to the schedule 1, para 3, quickly, can anybody tell me what is the schedule 1? क्या कोई मुझे बता सकता है कि schedule 1 क्या चीज का है? Can anybody tell me what is the schedule 1? Venkata Harshit Kumar, absolutely correct. Waiting for your answer also. And I'm requesting every participant, Hemant, Gyanendra, Ojajini, kindly give the answer because I might ask some question relating to other chapter also. This is normal
Sir,
habit. Do not
sir,
think that I'm doing the
sir,
test of you. Yes, yes.
I have given the answers, sir.
I've received. Hemant, I've received. Thank you. Now, schedule 1 is for supplies without consideration. So when there is no consideration, still the transaction would be considered as supply. In which third para we have discussed principal and agent. And in that third para, they are saying that agent can receive or can supply on behalf of the principal. So now what is the requirement? They are saying whatever the authorization are there, please maintain. Particular including the description, value and quantity on behalf of every principal. So first they are saying authorization. Second, they are saying description, value, quantity which you have received and which you have supplied. Accounts furnished to principal and tax paid on receipt of the supply or supply the goods or services on behalf of the principal. So if you are the agent, in addition to whatever you have done, whatever we have discussed, the requirement in section 35, rule 56, that you need to maintain, but additionally, this would also be applicable to you. If you are the manufacturer of the goods, whatever the details you have already discussed, that need to maintain. Additionally, in case of the manufacturing, you need to maintain monthly production, showing the quantitative details of raw material used in the manufacturing and quantitative details of the goods so manufactured, including the waste or byproduct thereof. Every registered person supplying the services shall maintain the quantitative details of the goods used in service. For example, Mr. A is providing the EMC services to the computer. Now, for rendering that service, he might be using some tools, some hardware. Then he has to maintain the quantitative details of the goods used in provision of that service. Every registered person who is work contract, again, we try to understand. Now we are talking about the requirement according to the categories of supplies. He is registered under regular category, work contractor probably. Whatever we have discussed, he has to maintain. But additionally, these sub-rule 14 ka requirement is only for the work contract. The name and address, description value and quantity, description value and quantity of the goods or services received for execution of work contract, utilized for execution of work contract, whatever the payment which you have received, and supplier from whom he received the goods. These are the 5 requirement, additional requirement for work contractor. Records may be maintained in electronic forms and shall be authenticated by way of the digital signature. Shall be authenticated by way of the digital signature. I hope it is clear. Let me ask 2-3 questions. Let me ask 2-3 questions. Tell me, okay. Tell me that what is the concept of log? Whether every registered person need to maintain the log? If yes, in which case? In which case the log has to be maintained? किस चीज का log maintain करना है for the GST registered person? That is my question. Very nice, very nice. Every entry edited or deleted. Fine. Tell me one additional requirement for principal and agent. One additional requirement for agent. One additional requirement for agent. Authorization by principal, absolutely correct. एक और बता दीजिए, इतना सुंदर बता रहे हैं आप लोग. Very nice. I'm expecting one more. Venkata Harshit Kumar. Venkata Harshit Kumar, are you there? If yes, kindly give the answer. And Gyanendra, you were very active in the last class. What happened?
Yeah, currently I'm traveling, sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. No problem. No problem, beta. Fine. So, in case of then you told me that yes. Tell me one more thing. Is it mandatory to keep the books of accounts for every place of business? Is it mandatory to keep the books of accounts at every place of business? Is it mandatory to keep the books of accounts at such place of business only? Fine. Suppose you are not keeping the books of accounts at that place. Suppose if it is maintained at your residence, will that be okay? The answer is yes. It has to be maintained. First, you have to keep that record in the respective place. But yes, Rule 56, Sub-Rule 10 is giving the slight relaxation unless proved otherwise. Remember this word, unless proved otherwise. Okay. Fine. If I'm a service provider, what additional things you will tell me? अगर मैं सर्विस प्रोवाइडर हूं, आप मुझे क्या बोलेंगे? If I'm a service provider, what you will tell me? Goods used in the provision of that service, उसका quantitative detail बनाना है. I need to maintain the quantitative details of that. ठीक है? Very nice, very nice, very nice. If this is purely theoretical topic, I do agree, but we'll try to revise in between so that जो भी आपने पढ़ा है, at least it should be remain in your mind. ठीक है? Now, the next is accounts maintained by the registered person together with all the invoices, bill of supply, credit note, debit note, delivery challan relating to stock, deliveries, inward and outward supplies shall be preserved for the period as provided in section 36. It normally says 72 months, 6 years. But yes, we will discuss in section 36. It talk about 1 more year in some appeal case.
Sir,
How
what is
much
the
period? Sorry.
sir? What is the difference between delivery and outward supply?
Okay. Which you are talking about 16, rule 16, rule 16.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Accounts maintained by the registered person together with all the invoices, bill of supply, credit note, debit note, and delivery challan relating to stock, deliveries, inward supplies, and outward supplies. So you are saying what is the difference between the deliveries and outward supply? This is your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, you remember that in section 31, we have discussed subsection 7, sales on approval. Please
Sir,
quickly.
yes, I understood, sir. Now I understood.
It means you are making the delivery, but might be it is not the supply. Then it is the delivery. It will be
Yeah.
supported by the delivery challan. But
Okay.
obviously, it is not my outward supply. This
Yeah.
invoice would not be there.
Okay, sir. Okay, understood. Now
Thank
understood.
you. Shall be preserved for the period as provided in section 36. How much period I have to maintain? Normally, yaad kijiye, normally remember it has to be 6 year plus one more year. But exact requirement, just wait for some time. Once we will reach to the section 36, we will discuss. Okay. And such accounts and records are being maintained manually, be kept at every related place of the business, and shall be accessible at every related place of the business if these are maintained digitally. It means you can have the access for other place of the business ka records also if you are maintaining digitally. Now, any person having custody over the goods in the capacity of the carrier or C&F agent, means clearing and forwarding agent, for delivery, dispatch to a recipient on behalf of every registered person, shall maintain the true and correct record in respect of the goods handled by him on behalf of the such registered person. इसका मतलब क्या है? अगर कोई ट्रांसपोर्टर है, लाइक कैरियर वाला है, या C&F एजेंट है, who are responsible for registered person for delivery or dispatch, in that case, such, see, point to be noted, the word are any person. It is not any registered person, meaning thereby such C&F agent, these might be registered in the GST, might not be registered in the GST, but yes, they have to maintain the records of goods handled by him and shall produce the details whenever required by the officer. So GST officer can ask any transporter or like C&F agent, ki, how much you have handled the goods, kindly give the records. Again, every registered person on demand produce the books of accounts which are required to maintain under any law for the time being in force.
Sir, जो CFA agent है, so will he keep? Suppose he doesn't keep the records, so what will happen? Will he be penalized?
Obviously. So in the penalty chapter, we will discuss. There is a one provision called general penalty. Suppose
Okay.
if there is no specific penalty, then the general penalty might be levied. And in the penalty chapter, you might read some important term like any registered person, any taxable person, any person. So these would be terms. So if he is not maintaining the books of accounts, so we have to check which penal provision would be there. And if any specific provisions are not there, then general penalty would be levied.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Now, records to be maintained by owner or operator of godown or warehouse and transporter. 35 subsection 2. 35 subsection 2. Again, what is the term they've used? Every person. Is it every registered person? No, 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 no. It is every person. It means such owner or operator might be registered in the GST, might not be registered in the GST. Required to maintain the records and accounts in accordance with the provision of 35(2) shall submit the details. If not registered, then only. अगर वो registered नहीं है तभी shall submit the details regarding his business electronically on the common portal in form DST ENR1, and upon validation a unique enrollment number can be generated and communicated. किस किस को मेंटेन करना है? ऑनर को, ऑपरेटर को, किसके ऑनर और ऑपरेटर? जो गोडाउन है, जो वेयरहाउस है, और तीसरा ट्रांसपोर्टर। अगर वो रजिस्टर्ड है, दे विल कीप. If they are not registered, then it is an additional requirement that they have to fill that form ENR01 online electronically. Now they are saying for the purpose of e-way bill. For the purpose of e-way bill, a transporter who is registered in more than one state having the same PAN. एक बार बताना, can you please tell me one technical word we are using for more than one registration under the same PAN? One technical term we are using more than one registration under same PAN. क्या वो technical term? Absolutely correct. It is called as distinct person. So for the purpose of e-way bill, a transporter who is registered in multiple states, he may also apply for unique common enrollment number. Normally, as per sub rule 1, the requirement of ENR01 would be only if not registered. Correct? But yes, this sub rule says even if you are registered, then also one additional benefit has been given. What is the additional benefit? Let's assume that there is a Mr. A who is a transporter. He is having the multiple GST number in Delhi, in Rajasthan, in Madhya Pradesh, in Maharashtra. What is the problem? When he picked the goods from Maharashtra, probably Maharashtra GST number to be given to the client for the purpose of e-way bill. Correct? When the same truck are being picked from Rajasthan, then he has to give the Rajasthan GST number to the client for the purpose of e-way bill. Might be the person are same, the client are same. So one client has having the manufacturing unit in Rajasthan, as is the manufacturing unit in Maharashtra. There was the possibility of huge mistake for the purpose of e-way bill. Then they have given one relaxation to such transporter. The law is saying, Rule 58 sub Rule 1 is saying, to the transporter, I'm talking about to the transporter only, use any GST number, go to the e-way bill portal, fill the required form. Once you complete the form, then the common enrollment number would be generated. It means to every client, for any location, you give that common enrollment ID. Ye common enrollment ID will serve the purpose of e-way bill. It means that Mr. A, who has GST number already, he might not be required, but he has the option that he can enter the detail in the e-way bill portal, generate the common enrollment ID. Then after generating the common enrollment ID, for the purpose of e-way bill, only, once he has obtained the unique common enrollment ID, he cannot use the GST number for e-way bill. What is the advantage? The advantage is at least the e-way bill would be correctly generated.
Sir, here the unique enrollment number, in place of that, PAN could have been used because PAN is anyway common.
No.
For
No. They are not saying the you can use PAN, you can use Aadhaar. No, they need the registration in the e-way portal.
Okay, sir. Okay.
See, let me visit to the e-way portal because you asked the question. Let me go to the e-way portal and just highlight that part only. एक बार ये साइट नहीं चल रही होगी probably. Once it's up, then I will show you that where is the option. Subrule 2 says that the person enrolled under Subrule 1 in any state shall be deemed to be enrolled in the state or UT, every state or UT. Now, it further says in the form number tag that is okay. Any person who is enrolled shall be required and amend the details अगर वो जब भी उसको change होगा. Subject to the provision of the Rule 56, any person engaged in the business of transporting the goods shall maintain records of goods transported, delivered, and stored in transit by him along with the GST number of registered consignor and consignee for each of his branches. Why they are saying subject to the provision of the Rule 56? Because in the Rule 56 we have also discussed that in case of the carrier C&F agent, they have to maintain certain records. Now they are saying if you are in the business of transporting the goods, then you need to maintain the records of goods transported, delivery, and goods stored in transit along with GSTIN number of registered consignor and consignee for each place of his business. And they are saying every owner or operator of the warehouse or godown shall maintain the books of accounts with respect to the period for which goods remain in the warehouse, including particulars relating to dispatch, movement, receipt, and disposal. Last, the owner or the operator shall store the goods in such manner that it can be identified item-wise and owner-wise. Why? So, if officer like to visit and do the verification, then that owner or operator should be able to facilitate such verification or inspection by the officer on demand. Okay. So just take a break of 10 minutes only. Just take a break of 10 minutes. We will resume at 7:10. We'll resume at 7:10 and again then we will start the discussion from Rule 57. We'll have some quick revision and then we'll start the Rule 57. अशोक जी एक बार 10 मिनट का ब्रेक स्टार्ट कर दीजिए. What is the generation and maintenance of electronic record? So the rule says that you need to keep the backup of the records in such manner that in case of the destruction because of any accident, natural calamity, because of any reason, the information can be restored with a reasonable period of time. It means the rule says that are you keeping the backup or not? Means backup of the electronic record are also required by the law. The registered person who is maintaining the electronic records shall produce on demand the relevant records or document duly authenticated by him in the hard copy or electronic readable format. He has to give on demand, he has to give the details of the files, password, any explanation for the code, so that officer can access all these information and also sample copy in the hard copy print form of the information stored in such file on demand. See, these all the requirement would be on demand. So obviously, if the officer asks, then only we need to provide. The rule 58. See, these are the period. Section 36 says that how much period I need to maintain the books of accounts. They are saying that it would be for 72 months. The 72 month would be counted from the due date of annual return. So normally the due date is 31st December. Sometime initial years it was long extended, but yes, otherwise it is 31st December after the end of the financial year. Then proviso says, what is the proviso? Proviso says that a registered person who is a party to the appeal, revision, or any other proceeding before appellate authority, revisional authority, or tribunal or court, whether filed by him or by the commissioner, is under investigation for an offense under this chapter shall retain the books of accounts and other record pertaining to the subject matter of the appeal or revision or proceeding or investigation for a period of 1 year after the final disposal of the appeal or revision, whichever is later. It means then they have to retain the books of accounts for 1 year after the final disposal of the appeal or the period specified above, that is 72 months, whichever is later. So additionally, they might require to maintain the books for 1 more year as per the proviso. Now we are moving to the inspection of goods and EV bill related provisions. So by this we have completed invoice and invoices we have already completed in the last class. Accounts and records are being completed. Now we are moving to the requirement of e-way bill. Very, very interesting topic. Let me explain first in general term. Let me give one example. Let me give one example and try to cover some of the provisions by practically, and then we will come back and discuss the law. Okay. Let me open the what I'm doing here. I will take one example, try to explain some of the important provision of e-way bill. Then we'll start reading the rule 138. That is my agenda for the balance class. Mr. R, Mr. S, supplier, has registered in the GST at Delhi. And let's say I'm using the location is ITO. He's selling the goods to Mr. R, customer, located in Delhi. He's sending the goods through motor vehicle. Whether e-way is required, let's say distance is 2 kilometers only. Supplier is sending the goods to the customer. Let's say value is 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh. Whether e-way bill would be required for 2 kilometers. Always remember there is no relaxation. There is no relaxation. Let's say I'm changing the state. Why I am changing the state? That I will tell you the reason. Mr. S is from Delhi and is sending the goods to Mr. R. Let's say it is 412 kilometers. Whether e-way bill would be required? Answer is yes, e-way bill would be required. Whenever there is a motorized vehicle, for transportation of goods from supplier to customer, there is no exemption for interstate movement. There is no exemption for interstate movement. I am using the word interstate. Why I am using the word interstate? Because sometime you will read the provision wherein for interstate, state has the power to give the relaxation. Like I'm giving you the example of Rajasthan. Rajasthan is saying there is no e-way bill would be required for district movement. Like Bihar, earlier it was saying that there is no e-way bill for 2 lakh rupees. Up to 2 lakh, no e-way bill is required. Now it has been reduced to 1 lakh. So point to be noted, intra-state, you have to refer the respective state rule, which we are not discussing right now. We are only discussing the interstate movement. Goods are moved from supply to recipient irrespective of any kilometer. Irrespective of any kilometer, the e-way bill would always be required. Rule 138 is saying that value should be more than 50,000. Now, what is the meaning of value? What is the meaning of value? Let's say my taxable value is 48,000 and my GST is 4,000. Tell me whether for the purpose of this 50,000, will we consider taxable value or will we consider invoice value? इंक्लूडिंग जीएसटी ये वाला वैल्यू कंसिडर करना है या टैक्सेबल वैल्यू कंसिडर करना है? काइंडली गिव द आंसर इफ यू हैव एनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग. द आंसर इज the explanation says that including GST. Explanation says that value means including GST. So in this case, will the e-way bill would be required? In this case, will the e-way bill would be required? Yes, because my invoice value is more than 50,000. Now let's say invoice number 2. There's a taxable value 40,000. There's a exempted goods. The value is 8,000. Okay. and the GST is let's say 4,000. My taxable value is 40,000. Exempted value 8,000. 4,000 is the GST. Again, total value is 52,000. Then explanation says that value का मतलब क्या है? It will include GST. Value is include GST, but it will exclude exempted item. In this case, will the EV bill would be required? Tell me, will the EV bill would be required in this invoice too? Will the EV bill would be required? Answer is no. Fine. We are doing the discussion of some provisions which we will read in some time. But अभी मैं आपको practically explain कर रहा हूं. I'm trying to explain practically almost all the important part of the EV bill chapter. Supplier is located in Delhi. Customer is located in Rajasthan, Jaipur. Distance is 412 kilometer. Okay. Now let's say goods are started on 18th January. What is the validity period of that EV bill? EV bill has been prepared for the distance of 412 kilometer. What is the validity of EV bill? The Rule 138 sub rule 10 has divided the validity based on the category of the vehicle. It means they've used the word ODC and other than ODC. What is the meaning of ODC? Over-dimensional cargo. It means there's a vehicle which is carrying the weight more than prescribed limit of Motor Vehicle Act. Why? Is the EV bill ka law provide the overloading? No, it is not like that. They have defined the word ODC, and very important, they've used the term indivisible unit. Indivisible single unit. It means the material that you have loaded on this truck, that should be single, and it cannot be dismantled, divide. Suppose there is a plant and machinery, there is a equipment which has to be carried in one truck only because it cannot be dismantled. In that case, if the limit of that cargo, limit of that conveyance, whatever it is being fixed as per the Motor Vehicle Act, by putting that equipment, the overall limit is exceeded. In that case, that cargo is called as ODC cargo. Limit is validity is 20 kilometer per day. If it is not the ODC cargo, then they are saying 200 kilometer per day. So let's say it is normal vehicle, it is not the ODC cargo. In that case, the distance is 412 kilometer. Then tell me what is validity period. On 18th January at 10 a.m. EV bill is generated, then it will be valid. So first tell me what is the expiry date of that EV bill. Now tell me what is the expiry date of that EV bill. You tell me कि 18th January at 10 a.m. we have generated that EV bill from S to R for 412 kilometer. Cargo conveyance is not ODC, so it is other than ODC. Can you tell me what is the expiry date? 18th को जनरेट किया मैंने, Will it be 19th? Will it be 20? Will it be 21? Will it be 22? What would be the expiry date of that e-way bill? 200 kilometer per day. It is 412 kilometer. So first 200 kilometer kitna? 1 day. Second 200 kilometer kitna? 1 day. And now the balance 12 kilometer. If you read rule 138 sub rule 10, it says that 200 kilometer or any part thereof, you will get one extra day. So it means for 12 kilometer also you will get 1 day. The total validity is 3 days. So if you have generated the e-way bill on 18th, it will be valid till 21st. Now the another question comes, will it be valid on 21st till 9:59 a.m.? The 1 day would be counted from start time and end time exactly 24 hours. They were saying that meaning of 1 day means midnight of the expiry date. It means it is valid on 21st till midnight. Till 11:59 PM रात को 12 बजे तक ये डॉक्यूमेंट वैलिड रहेगा. It is more than actually 24 hours. Absolutely correct. It is more than 24 hours. Absolutely correct. But for facilitating the transporter, they are saying on the expiry date, the e-way bill would be valid till the midnight of that date. Can you please quickly calculate and tell me if the e-way bill is generated on 5th Feb 2025? Distance are distance is 81 kilometer, and assume that cargo is ODC cargo. Tell me the expiry date and expiry time of the e-way bill. Hemant, 21st it will be valid till midnight, till raat tak. After 10 a.m. also it will be valid. It is valid till midnight.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
Hmm.
sorry.
Sorry. हाँ, नहीं.
Yes, sir.
हाँ बेटा बोलो.
Sir, in this example, you have explained the first day it is one day, second day. Can you please explain it again?
Sure. I will definitely explain.
And you have told that it is an other than ODC.
See, the ODC cargo is 20 kilometer 1 day.
Yes,
Other
sir.
than ODC, it is 200 kilometer 1 day.
Yes.
Difference is that only. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I told you that it is being generated on 18th at 10 a.m. Distance was 412 kilometer.
Yes.
Correct. So I can say it is first 200 kilometer. How much days it is valid? 18.
Okay.
Again, 200 days, it will get one extra days.
Yes, sir.
And उसके बाद जितना भी बैलेंस है उसके लिए उसको एक्स्ट्रा 1 day मिल जाएगा.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
3 days. अब 3 days को जब मैं ऐड करता हूँ 18th में तो आता है मेरा 21st.
21st.
क्वेश्चन ये आता है 21st को ये मॉर्निंग में एक्सपायर होगा. इन्होंने 1 day को एक्सप्लेन किया कि टिल मिडनाइट. इट मींस वो 21st की पूरे दिन यूज होगा. यू कैन यूज till 11:59 and ensure to make the delivery. The transport has to ensure to make the delivery till 11:59 p.m.
Yes.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
My question to all you, that now assume that it is ODC cargo, 82 kilometers distance. E-way bill is generated on 5th Feb at, let's say, 7 a.m. Tell me that it is, what will be the expiry date and what will be the expiry time of that EV bill? That is my purely question. Very simple question. I'm giving you 2 minutes, and then meanwhile you can give the answer. Just wait for 2 minutes and let other participants also give the answer. There is one or two participant in the yes, here also chat. Venkata Harshit Kumar, I would be able to see your chat and hope you are there. Please give the answer. What is the validity period? Means date and time. Hmm. Okay. So, fine. So, what is the total distance? 20 kilometer one day, 20 kilometer one day, 20 kilometer one day, 20 kilometer one day. So, this e-way bill is valid for 5 days, right? It has generated on 5th, so it will be expired on 10th Feb. Absolutely correct. And it is till 7 a.m. No, this is applicable or valid till the midnight. I hope everyone is clear. Very nice. Very nice. Now we have understood what is the concept of validity period. Okay. Again, 50-50 exemption. So this 50-50 term I have given so that it would be easily remembered. I would say exemption or relaxation. Now, what is this? Try to understand. E-way bill has two parts. E-way bill has two parts, part A and part B. E-way bill has two parts. So this is the website of E-way bill, and if you go to the user manual, let me open so that you all can at least visualize. बेटा वॉइस में कोई प्रॉब्लम मतलब वैसे ब्रेक नहीं हो रही होगी probably because of थोड़ा सा अभी भी थ्रॉट में इश्यू है दैट कुड बी द रीजन एंड एक बार कंफर्म करना इज दैट ओके इज इट ओके नाउ फाइन फाइन बेटा नाउ have you seen the e-way bill? Have you seen the e-way bill? Everyone confirm. Have you seen the e-way bill? Fine. So first understand the e-way bill. This is the e-way bill website. Just now I was talking about na unregistered transporter where they will give the generate the common enrollment ID where in the registration second option enrollment for transporter. Whatever we were discussing right now, rule 58, where they will go and register in this option. They will click on the enrollment or transporter, 25 subsection 2, and then they will give the detail. Once they will complete the detail and give submit, then the common enrollment ID would be generated. So this is the e-way bill ka website. So if you have the user, like you have the user ID password, then you can go and log in. But अभी मैं क्या बात कर रहा हूँ, this EV bill would be look like this. This is a one form which is electronically available when you click. But इसमें कितने part होते हैं? It has two part. The first is, this is the part A, and in the bottom there is a part B. Part A is asking from GST number to GST number, picking location, delivery location, item wise detail, tax rate, description, HSN, transporter detail, distance. You will give the distance from pin code and to pin code. From and to, system by default will calculate the distance based on the geo Google. They will calculate the distance, and then based on the distance, you can have the slightly relaxation, that we will not go into that. But yes, based on the relaxation, based on that distance, whatever we have discussed validity, it will be calculated.
Sir,
With
if there is a sir, if there is a vehicle breakdown, what will happen, sir?
correct. We'll explain everything. I will explain. There's an option. There's an option to extend the validity, but within 8 hours of expiry by giving the reason. Let's say there was a cantonment zone during the COVID period. Correct. There was a, let's say there is a flood in one of the state and truck is not able to move. What could be the possible solution for the transporter? They can extend the validity. They can extend the validity within 8 hours of expiry. They feel it would be extended by 2 days, 3 days, whatever. They have the option, but it has to be extended. Now, the point which I like to explain, part B, the 50/50 exemptions. What is the 50/50 exemptions that I'm telling to you? पार्ट बी, हेमंत क्लियर है ना? हेमंत या ज्ञानेंद्र, किसने पूछा था क्वेश्चन?
Yeah, it's clear, sir. It's clear. They have to extend. Yes.
Yes. It means whom you will tell that is an e-way bill when part A plus part B both has been completed, then it is called e-way bill. It is called e-way bill. Rule 138 says that before the moment, the part A and part B has to be completed. Let's say I am moving the goods on 5th of Feb from at 7 a.m. I have to complete part A, complete part B, click on the submit. Once I will click on the submit, the system e-way bill portal will give the, let me show you the screen. This would be the printout of e-way bill. In this way, it will be e-way bill. There is a two option available, the format, but yes, this would be the document which will authenticate that now you can move the goods. Correct? If part A is generated but part B has not been entered, is it a valid document for movement? Answer is no. Now, in this case, there is a one provision. Rule 138, sub rule 3 का proviso. Try to understand. And therefore, to this provision, I am saying it is a 50/50 relaxation. 50/50 relaxation का मतलब क्या हुआ? Part A is mandatory, part B is optional. Oh, even I can move the goods without filling the part B? Answer is yes. Where? Rule 138 sub rule 3 का proviso says, Again, let's say S is a supplier sending the goods to the transporter. Now I'm changing the example, and then transporter is sending the goods finally to the customer. This provision says that if this distance, the first is it should be same state within 50 kilometer, and the movement is from business place to the transporter place. There are the three conditions. In this case, they are saying you can move the goods, no problem, only on the basis of the part A, not necessary part B. You have the option. But if you go to this portal, they are saying that part B, that is vehicle number. No, sorry, part A, that is transporter number. Try to understand. I'm going back to the e-way bill, that particular format of e-way bill. If you are using the relaxation of not adding the part B, then this transporter detail, which is normally optional if part B is being added. Transporter detail is optional if you have added the part B. But if part B is not added, why not added? Because of 138 sub rule 3 ka proviso. Then in that case, it become mandatory. Why mandatory? Now system is ensuring that you are sending from your business place to the transporter place. They are ensuring that it should be within the same state. They are ensuring that it should be within 50 kilometers. Whatever the possibility is there, they are checking, but that is not my part of discussion. My part of the discussion, whether part A and part B both are mandatory before movement, first answer is yes. But only at one place you have the relaxation. What is the relaxation? If from the business place to the transporter place, goods are going to the transporter only. Distance is within 50 kilometer, same state, no problem. Add the part A, add the transporter number, not required to add the part B. I hope you got some clarity. Is that clear? This wala point is clear to you? Coming. ये वाला clear है ना? Now, very good question by Oza Jini. Can we do the editing? Suppose e-way bill is generated by invoice number 101, but actually the invoice number was 102. I have generated the e-way bill on the basis of 101. Can I edit? No. The part A, once entered, cannot be edited. Part B, that is only vehicle number. Part B, that is only vehicle number and document. It can be changed multiple times. Within the validity, you can do the changes, no problem. Truck was started from Delhi, was going to Rajasthan. In between, there was an accident. Now, the truck number was 1. Now, the owner has sent the another truck, that is number 2. You have generated the e-way bill by using the number 1 truck number. Can you do the editing? Truck number is being reported or being added in the part B, and part B can be multiple time can be changed within the validity period, no restrictions. Is that clear, Oja Jenny? I hope the question is clear, right? So be there till the last. So I will ask all the question in the discussion that we are doing always. Quick round of the question answer. ठीक है ना?
Yes,
मैं
sir.
बहुत आराम से समझा रहा हूँ, एकदम एग्जाम्पल लेके समझा रहा हूँ. आई ट्राई माई बेस्ट, बट यू शुड रिस्पॉन्ड टिल द एंड. ठीक है, यू शुड बी अवेलेबल एंड रिस्पॉन्ड माई ऑल द फायर राउंड ऑफ द क्वेश्चन. अब एक बार थोड़ा सा स्टार्ट कर लेते हैं. लेट मी स्टार्ट दैट provisions. What are the provisions are there?
Sir,
हाँ बोलो
if
बेटा.
if we order like from ICAI we order our books, है ना? Then from UP, then they send that books from the courier,
हम्म.
है ना? तो वहां पर भी यानी उन्हें ई-वे बिल तो जनरेट करना पड़ता होगा ना?
हाँ. नाउ अभी आपका क्वेश्चन जो है वो कवर होता है रूल 138 सब रूल 14 क्लॉज ई में.
Okay.
Rule 138 says that if the goods are exempted, then no e-way bill. Because books are exempted in the GST, right?
That's exempted. Yes, sir.
So goods are exempted, then e-way bill not required.
सर अगर बुक्स नहीं है टैक्सेबल
Item है and the value is more than 50,000, then answer would be yes, e-way bill would be required.
ओके सर, क्लियर सर.
So section 68 says that goods, when it is being moved, then there is a power of inspection by the proper officer. Government may require the person in charge of a conveyance, it means driver, let's say, carrying any consignment of goods value exceeding 50,000 to carry with him such document, tax invoice or bill of supply or delivery challan or bill of entry plus e-way bill. And such device, there's a concept of RFID, radio frequency identification will read. That is concept of RFID devices which is not being notified. The details of the document required to be carried under subsection 1 shall be validated in such manner as may be prescribed. We'll read the rule. Where any conveyance is intercepted by the officer at any place, he may require the person in charge. It means the officer will ask from the driver to produce the tax invoice, bill of supply, whatever. And purpose is verification. And that driver is liable to produce that document and devices and allow the inspection. This is the power of inspection in the law. Now, for that purpose, they have made the rule. What is the rule number? 138. Rule 138, 138A, B, C, D, E. We will discuss these 6 rules today. And by this, we will complete our discussion. And tomorrow, we'll have the again next class, that is payment of tax. More or less, it is very practical. आप लोगों ने आईटीसी चैप्टर आप लोगों का हो गया, राइट? माई one request to all the participant before coming to tomorrow class, please recall the provision of offsetting of GST liability. Means if there is an IGST liability, you have the ITC under CGST, you have the ITC under SGST, you have the ITC of IGST, liability under C, liability under S, you have the liability of S, ITC under C. What are the rules which are there for offsetting? Tomorrow class, I will start with practical example first, and then I will. So the tomorrow class would be started with the discussion with the question, and then we'll start the provisions. This way, तो मैं सबसे पहले आपसे एक या दो क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा, प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चन होगा, जिसका आंसर अगर आप मुझे सही देंगे तो इट विल बी रियली अप्रिशिएटेड. अब हम बात कर रहे हैं रूल 138 की. अभी तक जो हमने बात की वो मोरलेस वी हैव डिस्कस्ड द प्रोविजंस. We have discussed the provisions and now we are talking about the rule. मतलब प्रैक्टिकली तरीके से प्रैक्टिकली हमने ट्राई किया प्रोविजन समझने का. नाउ वी आर रीडिंग द रूल. Every registered person who caused the movement of the good of consignment value exceeding 50,000, movement because it is a sale, movement because it is other than sale. When we are moving the goods, let's say for exhibition, do I need to prepare the e-way bill? I'm sending my goods to repair center. Do I need to prepare the e-way bill? Yes. Always yes. Whenever the goods are being moved, it is maybe because of supply or maybe other than supply. E-way bill would always be prepared. And the supplier is unregistered and recipient are registered. Liability to prepare the e-way bill is on the recipient. ठीक है. Before movement, e-way bill has to be generated. Part A. Part A can be generated by the transporter or by the e-commerce operator or by the courier company also. Try to understand. Part A has to be generated. It can be generated by the transporter also. It can be generated by e-commerce operator also. It can be generated by the courier company also. They are saying yes. They have also the author. If they have the authorization, then answer is yes. They can generate it. Then proviso says that mandatory generation of e-way bill in two cases. In these two cases, even if the value is less than 50,000, e-way bill would be required. What are the two cases? Principal sending the goods to job worker. Principal sending the goods to job worker. Any party who is registered will prepare the e-way bill irrespective of value. Similarly, handicraft goods, when transported from one state to another state by a person who has been exempted from registration. Remember, in the section 24, I have explained. एक मिनट दीजिएगा खाली. In the section 24, we have discussed that in case of the handicraft goods, there is a relaxation that till the threshold, there is no requirement of taking the registration. Section 24 is talking about mandatory registration. But if you are moving the handicraft goods, then it is mandatory to generate the e-way bill. What is the meaning of handicraft goods? They have given the notification number. What is the meaning of consignment value? The value include the taxes, but exclude the exempted supply. Now, when the goods are transported by the registered person as consignor or the recipient as the consignee, whether in his own conveyance or hired or even public by road, the e-way bill has to be generated electronically on the common portal after furnishing the information in the part B. Now, normally the part A and part B has to be generated before movement. Only one relaxation, that if the goods are transported other than road, by rail, या by air, या by vessel. In these three cases, you shall be, e-way bill shall be generated by the registered person, supplier or the recipient, who shall either before or after. यहाँ पे उन्होंने ऑप्शन दे दिया that you can add the part B detail even after the commencement. Why so? Because normally when you hand over the goods to the cargo company, airline company or railway, then they will give you the document, railway receipt, which you need to add in the part B. Agar by rail, by air या by vessel movement है, so probably you will not have the part B detail immediately. They are saying yes, you can give the add later on, but the proviso is being added only for railway for the time being, that railway will not deliver the goods unless and until you will produce the complete e-way bill with part B. Very nice. Subrule 3 is saying if e-way bill is not generated under subrule 2, goods are handed over to the transporter. The registered person shall furnish the information on the common portal and the e-way bill shall be generated by the transporter on the basis of part A of e-way bill. In the part A of e-way bill. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? अगर registered person ने नहीं बनाया, तो it is the responsibility on the transporter. Provided that registered person generate and carry the e-way bill even if the value is less, that is optional. So अगर वैल्यू 50 से कम है, नो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, यू कैन जनरेट द ई-वे बिल. Now I was talking about 50-50 exemption. If the distance is 50 kilometer, state are same, movement are from business place to the place of business of transporter, then not furnish the detail of part B. If you are not adding the, in terms of the fourth proviso, then need details either directly on the upon validation of the details, unique common enrollment number will be generated, that we have already discussed. Now it says that when the goods are supplied by unregistered supplier to registered, the movement shall be caused by the recipient known at the time of the commencement. E-way bill shall not be valid unless the part B has been furnished, except subrule 3 and except subrule 5 ka proviso. This we have discussed. Can you quickly tell me that when part B is not mandatory and we are allowed to move the goods? I'm talking about by road, by railway, by air, by vessel, I know. I'm talking about by road. Kab part B become optional? There are the three conditions which we have discussed. I request everyone to give the three conditions. I request everyone to give these three conditions. First is from the consigner to the transporter place. Absolutely correct, Hemant. Then state should be same, and then third is the distance should be 50 kilometers. Yes. When you generation of the EV bill, then unique EWB number will be given to you. Sub rule 5 simple says that if you are changing the conveyance, then part B has to be updated. Before such transfer, the details of the conveyance to be added. But there is also one relaxation. Try to understand that relaxation. Goods are being supplied by S to the transporter place. Now transporter place is giving the delivery to R. But what happened? Transporter has the main office in, let's say, Jaipur. Now he will take the small vehicle to deliver the goods. Mr. R is located in, let's say, Chomo, near to Jaipur, and distance is 20 kilometers, let's say 30 kilometers. For this moment, tell me whether vehicle number is changed. From main transporter place in Rajasthan to R, whether vehicle number is changed or not, tell me. Because goods are being moved in the big truck. Now this truck is being unloaded and goods are being loaded in the small vehicle to deliver at the respective place. Whether vehicle number is changed, answer is yes, it is changed. मैं एक बार वापस एक्सप्लेन करता हूं, एक बार समझना. यहां से गया बड़े ट्रक में, दिल्ली के ट्रांसपोर्टर ने बड़े ट्रक में सारा माल लोड करके जयपुर पे अनलोड करवा दिया. अब पूरा ट्रक तो आर के पास जाएगा नहीं. मान लो यहाँ पे 50 कस्टमर है इसके, 1 2 3 4 5. क्या करेंगे? ये बड़ा ट्रक को अनलोड कर देंगे. जो स्मॉल व्हीकल होते हैं, लेट्स से जिसको हम नॉर्मली विक्रम बोलते हैं, टाटा विक्रम, या छोटा हाथी जिसको बोला जाता है नॉर्मल, तो उसमें लोड होगा. तो बड़े ट्रक का व्हीकल नंबर और छोटे व्हीकल का नंबर वुड बी डिफरेंट ना.
यस सर.
नाउ दे आर सेइंग, अभी हमने क्या डिस्कस किया था, जब भी कन्वेंस चेंज होगा, यू नीड टू अपडेट द पार्ट बी. करेक्ट?
यस सर.
यहां पे इन्होंने क्या किया? अगेन दे हैव गिवन द रिलैक्सेशन ऑफ व्हाट? नॉट टू अपडेट. नॉट अपडेट पार्ट बी चल जाएगा ऐसे ही. नॉट अपडेट पार्ट बी चल जाएगा ऐसे ही. कैसे? अगर वो डिस्टेंस जयपुर
50
से
किलोमीटर से
आर तक 50 किलोमीटर है, डिस्टेंस सेम स्टेट में है, और यहां पर फ्रॉम ट्रांसपोर्टर टू कंसाइनी है. देखो पहले वाला जो सब रूल 3 था, उसमें हमने क्या पढ़ा था? फ्रॉम कंसाइनर टू ट्रांसपोर्टर. और अभी सब रूल 5 में हमने क्या पढ़ा? ट्रांसपोर्टर से कंसाइनी.
यस सर.
एरो क्लियर है ना?
यस
फर्स्ट वाले सब रूल 3 में कहां से कहां तक के लिए रिलैक्सेशन था? सब रूल 5 में कहां से कहां तक का रिलैक्सेशन? बाकी 2 पॉइंट सेम है कि डिस्टेंस 50 किलोमीटर तक है, स्टेट सेम है, देयर इज नो चेंज. देन क्या है?
I have seen only the 30-kilometer distance. On that basis, I have given the answer.
नो प्रॉब्लम बेटा, नो प्रॉब्लम. ठीक है, अभी क्लियर हुआ ना आपको?
Yes, sir, clear.
ठीक है. नाउ वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट यू हैव द ऑप्शन. सब रूल 6 says that there is a concept of consolidated e-way bill only by transporter. So I have the customer, I have the supply in the Chomu. Let's say I have the 50 customer. Can I consolidate and make single e-way bill? No. जितने डॉक्यूमेंट है उतने ई-वे बिल बनाने होंगे. क्लियर? Then what is the concept of consolidation of e-way bill? Now try to understand. I have given my 50 tax invoice with 50 e-way bill to the transporter with the part A. Is it allowed? अभी तो बात की थी हमने कि आप अपने प्लेस से ट्रांसपोर्टर के प्लेस तक यू कैन सेंड द गुड्स विदाउट पार्ट बी. नाउ द पॉइंट इज the transporter has to update the vehicle number in all the 50 part A e-way bill. Yes, part B बिना अपडेट किए तो वो तो मूव ही नहीं कर सकता. The problem is he has to update multiple time, possibility of mistake and huge time. So to facilitate the transporter only with respect part B, the concept of consolidation has been given by the law. So can supplier make the consolidated e-way bill? Answer is no. क्या सप्लायर कंसोलिडेट ई-वे बिल बना सकता? नो. ये खाली एक फैसिलिटी है जो कि ट्रांसपोर्टर को दी गई है so that he can update the part B. Because now try to tell me, in my example, all goods are going to same location. Yes. Now the vehicle number, obviously the transporter would send in the same vehicle now. टेल मी, अगर मेरे सभी जयपुर के आसपास के अगर गुड्स हैं तो पॉसिबिलिटी है ट्रांसपोर्टर विल यूज द सेम व्हीकल ना. यस, थिंक अबाउट.
Yes, sir.
He has, yes, thank you, he has to add the part B 50 times. Possibility of mistake, मेजर चांस. टाइम काफी सारा कंज्यूम होगा. Therefore, he has the option in the GST portal. He can generate the EWB02. Only one time he has to add the vehicle number and select all the EWB01 part A. खाली select करेगा तो एक consolidated e-way bill बन जाएगा. It is only supporting the transporter. I hope it is clear.
Yes,
Now,
sir. Yes, sir.
this sub rule 7 is not yet effective. Means रूल में तो है बट इसको इंप्लीमेंट ही नहीं किया लॉ ने आज तक. क्यों नहीं किया? क्योंकि इट इज सेइंग दैट सपोज इफ यू रिसीव द गुड्स फ्रॉम मल्टीपल कस्टमर and you are carrying in the same conveyance, individual value is, let's say, see, suppose Mr. A is a transporter. He has received the goods from 100 customer and value of the goods is 1000. 100 कस्टमर के पास में आए 1000 रुपए का माल लेके. क्या वो कस्टमर is mandatory to generate the e-way bill? Answer is no, because 50,000 से exceed करेगा तो e-way bill आएगा, right? So now this supplier, 100 supplier probably not generated the e-way bill, but transporter is carrying the goods in a vehicle by which the consolidated value is more than 50,000. Sub rule 7 is imposing the responsibility on Mr. A कि भाई तू ई-वे बिल बना. क्यों? इन्होंने तो बनाया ही नहीं, ना तो पार्ट ए ना पार्ट बी. अब इनको बनाना है ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द टैक्स इनवॉइस. विल इट नॉट इंक्रीज द वर्क ऑफ मिस्टर ए? Will it not deny to take the goods from unregistered party at all? Possible. So to considering all the situation, sub rule 7 is still in the law, but it is not yet effective. It is in the law, but खाली इसको effective नहीं किया. ठीक है, सॉरी, मैं कुछ पार्ट छोड़ रहा हूं. ठीक है. So this we have discussed validity period. Let me skip. Yes, it can be. You can extend the validity. Some part I have to skip because we have 5 more rules which we need to read. Extend the validity that under circumstances of exceptional nature, like I've given the example of natural calamity, flood, cantonment zone, COVID period, not possible to not possible to move the goods, then you can transporter can also extend the validity period. Okay. What is the meaning of date expiring at midnight? What is the meaning of over dimensional cargo? It means exceed the dimensional limit and single indivisible. These are very, very important terms. Now try to understand 3 time. Relevance of 15 days, relevance of 24 hours, and relevance of 72 hours. 3 time you need to understand. If part A is being added, but part B is not added, the law allowing you to time limit of 15 days, you can add the part B. After that, the number would not be active. You need to generate the e-way bill again. 24 hours. Part A plus part B both has been reported entered. E-way bill is generated. Then law provide the time limit to cancel the e-way bill within 24 hours. What is the use of 72 hours? It is for rejection by the counterparty. You have added the part A plus part B. Complete e-way bill is generated by the S. Now R has the option to reject the e-way bill within 72 hours. 72 hours of the details being made available or the delivery, time of the delivery, whichever is earlier. Now the e-way bill, certain situation when e-way bill is not required to be generated. What are those? So that we will discuss. Just take a break of 5 minutes. Quickly, 5 minutes. अभी 5 minute का break लेना. We have the limited time. So therefore, I request everyone take the break of 5 minutes. We'll resume at 8:15. ठीक है? And then we will start the balance part. अशोक जी 5 minute का break ले लीजिए. we were talking about Rule 138, Sub-Rule 14, wherein the e-way bill would not be required. एक बार मुझे बताइए, quickly tell me one situation I have already discussed. One situation I have already discussed, that in which case e-way bill is not required. I'm expecting that at least you will give the answer. Exempted goods, absolutely correct. Exempted goods, absolutely correct. If the goods are exempted, no e-way bill would be required. However, exact reasoning we will discuss now. Where the goods are being transported in annexure. So we will read that annexure. These are talking about like LPG for household, any precious material, precious stones, gold, something like that. Kerosene, empty container, all these things we will discuss. Goods are being transported if the goods are being transported in the non-motorized vehicle. Let's say bull cart is being used for moving the goods. Irrespective of any distance, no e-way bill is required because what will be the vehicle number for that bull cart? No, na? So they have exempted. Then again they are saying, within the custom, airport, air cargo, complex, etc. If the goods are being moved, no e-way bill would be required. If the goods are exempted, no e-way bill would be required, but they've excluded one item. They've excluded one item. Okay. In this, then GST is one nation, one tax. Tell me, will the GST is one nation, one tax, right? Can the state change the rule for everything, whatever they want? Logically, मैं एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन आपसे डिस्कस कर रहा हूं. Try to understand. GST is a one nation, one tax. GST is a one nation, one tax. My question, क्या ई-वे बिल, जैसे हमने अभी बात की कि ई-वे बिल में वो पुराने वाले, मतलब जो हमने बात की थी कि ई-वे बिल में वो विद इन द स्टेट मूवमेंट के लिए वो डिफरेंट रूल रख सकता है. क्या रजिस्ट्रेशन में भी रख सकता है? क्या टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई में भी कर सकता है? क्या बिल ऑफ सप्लाई में भी कर सकता है? क्या वैल्यू ऑफ इनवॉइस के लिए भी कर सकता है? कैन दिस रूल फॉर एवरीथिंग हैज बीन मेड फ्लेक्सिबल? तो हर किसी के लिए नहीं. एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट, ऐसा नहीं है. तो सिर्फ ई-वे बिल के लिए क्यों? द क्वेश्चन कम्स, द स्टेट कैन नॉट चेंज द रूल्स फॉर एवरी प्रोविजन, देन व्हाई ई-वे बिल? Because of this clause. Because of this clause. What is the requirement? Saying that in respect of the movement of the goods within such areas as may be notified under 138 sub-rule 14 clause D of the state. CGST ka rule is giving the power to the state that you can notify any relaxation. It can be area wise, it can be distance wise, it can be amount wise, whatever you will notify, you are being permitted for within the state movement. Where the goods, we have already discussed, if the goods are non-taxable supplies, alcoholic liquor, human consumption, petrol, diesel, etc., no e-way bill would be required. Schedule 3, no e-way bill would be required. When the goods are being transported from the custom to ICD, etc., no e-way bill would be required. It is a transit cargo from Nepal or Bhutan, then no e-way bill would be required. कैन यू टेल मी मीनिंग ऑफ ट्रांजिट कार्गो? इसका मतलब क्या है? यू नो द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस ट्रांजिट कार्गो? नहीं, मैं बताता हूं. Let's say goods are being started from Afghanistan and goods are going to Nepal, and India is being used as intermediate country. Let's say goods are being moved by road. मैं assume करता हूँ, एक hypothetical example लेता हूँ. नेपाल को गुड्स जा रहा था, अफगानिस्तान से आया, एंड इंडिया इज बीइंग यूज्ड एज ए ट्रांजिट कंट्री. कहीं और से स्टार्टिंग है, एंडिंग लोकेशन क्या है? नेपाल भूटान, और इंडिया के थ्रू मूव हो रहा है. नो ईवी बिल. सिर्फ नेपाल से माल अफगानिस्तान जान रहा है, नो ईवी बिल. When the goods are being transported or for, I can say, security purpose, they have given the exemption. If you read the notification 7, notification 26, they are talking about the nuclear power. If they, and that canteen unit run URC of that air forces. So if the unit run canteen sending the goods, or these are being sent by the nuclear power, then no EV bill. If the movement are being by the Ministry of Defense, no EV bill. Allow me 1 minute. No EV bill. ठीक है. When the goods, where the consigner, एक मिनट दीजिएगा मुझे खाली, just 1 minute please. Then the consigner is goods is central government of any state or local authority by rail. If they are moving the goods by rail, then no EV bill would be required. When empty cargo container are being transported, no EV bill would be required. When the goods are being transported up to the distance of 20 kilometers, for the payment purpose, no EV bill would be required. Where empty cylinder for packing of the LPG are being moved for the reason other than supply, no EV bill would be required. Okay, these are the relaxation of EV bill. Now, kindly read the this particular annexure. Kindly read this annexure that these goods would be, no EV bill would be required for LPG, for supply of the household, kerosene oil, postal baggage, natural or culture purge, jewelry, goldsmith or silversmith, currency used, personal and household effect, coral, unworked or worked coral. Now let's move to the cargo to be delivered to the Nepal from Indian port. Cargo to be delivered to the Nepal. See, Nepal and Bhutan, you do not require any e-way bill. The person in charge of the conveyance shall carry the invoice or bill of supply or the delivery challan, as the case may be. Copy of the e-way bill in physical forms or the e-way bill number in the electronic form or mapped to the RFID device embedded on the conveyance in such manner as may be notified by the commissioner. What is the Rule 138A? Rule 138A is simply that document to be carried by the person in charge of a conveyance. The person in charge of the conveyance shall carry the invoice or bill of supply or delivery challan and copy of e-way bill in the physical form or the e-way bill number in electronic form or mapped to RFID devices embedded on the conveyance in such manner as may be notified by the commissioner. Nothing contained in the clause B shall apply to the movement of the goods by rail or by air or by vessel. Okay. Then proviso says if you are importing the goods, then part A has to be based on the bill of entry. Okay. Then in case of the e-invoicing is applicable. If e-invoicing is applicable, then the QR code embedded with IRN you can produce electronically for verification. You can produce electronically for verification. Where the registered person upload the invoice under sub-rule 2, information in the part A shall be auto-populated in the in the INV1. What is the INV1? E-invoice. If you generated, sorry, ulta bola maine. Let me repeat once again. If you have given the information in the e-invoice, then information will be available in the e-way bill, like GST number, value, HSN code, etc. Okay. The commissioner by notification required the class of the transporter to obtain the RFID device and get the said invoice embedded on the conveyance and map the e-way bill to the RFID device prior to the movement of the goods. Okay. So as of now, it has been not notified by all the commissioners. Then it says that yes, notwithstanding anything contained in the clause B, the commissioner by notification require the person in charge of the conveyance to carry the following document instead of e-way bill: tax invoice, bill of supply or bill of entry, or delivery challan when the goods are transported for reason other than supply. 138B, verification of the document and conveyance. It says that commissioner empowered by him may authorize the proper officer to intercept any conveyance to verify the e-way bill in the physical or electronic form for all interstate movement. Commissioner shall get RFID devices installed at place where the verification is required to be carried, and verification shall be done through such RFID devices. उसके बाद में the physical verification of the conveyance shall be carried out by the proper officer as authorized by the commissioner or an officer empowered by him in this behalf, provided that on receipt of the specific information on evasion of tax, physical verification may be carried out by any other officer. So normally within the state, there would be the one verification. But if there is a tax evasion kind information, then yes, it can be by multiple times. It can be by more than once also. Any questions so far? Please let me know. Any questions so far? Fine, no problem. 138C is talking about inspection and verification. So, what are the documents to be carried by the conveyance in charge? We have given that document. What are the power that we have discussed? Now, the officer, when he will do the inspection, when he will upload the reports that are being covered in the 138C. A summary report of every inspection shall be recorded online by the proper officer in part A of EWB 03. Now they are saying this is the requirement. It is the requirement. It is the requirement of 138C that the officer, let's say, is doing the verification inspection. Then it is the requirement of that officer that he has to prepare EWB 03 within 24 hours of inspection. And the final report in the part B shall be recorded within 3 days of the inspection, provided where the circumstances so warrant, commissioner or any other officer may, on the sufficient cause being shown, extend the time for recording the final report for a period of not exceeding 3 days. तो इसका जो EWB 03 है, इसका part A within 24 hours, part B within 3 days. Again, this 3 days can be extended by 3 more days. The period of the 24 hours shall be counted from the midnight. Again, the same what we have discussed in the rule 138. Tell me, if the cargo is ODC cargo, what is the validity period? Tell me, if the cargo is ODC cargo, what is the validity period? What is the validity time? It is 20 kilometer 1 day. What is the use? We have discussed 15 days. उसका क्या मतलब है? What is the relevance of the 15 days? What is the relevance of 15 days? We have discussed that, yes, there is a time limit of 15 days.
If may I, sir?
Please.
Sir, if in the e-way bill form, part A has been filled and part B is not filled, and for part B, 15 days allowed that you can fill part B 15 days.
Very nice, beta, very nice. Okay. Now the next point is when the physical verification on any conveyance has been done during transit or at one place. No further physical verification, that we have already discussed the same thing. Correct. Now, if the vehicle is detained for a period exceeding 30 minutes, then transporter may upload the said information in the EWB 04. Okay. The transportation by road, transportation by railway, by transportation goods by railway, transportation goods by rail, movement of the goods by rail does not include cases where the leasing of the parcel space by the railway takes place. तो इसमें leasing वाला point include नहीं है. Now the rule 138E, that is the last rule which we need to read. Restriction on furnishing of the information in the part A. क्या मतलब हुआ? इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि if you are covered in any of the default, there are some default. If the taxpayer are being covered in this default, in that case, if it is being covered in the default, in that case, he cannot generate the e-way bill for outward movement of the goods. Let's assume that Mr. A is a defaulter. A defaulter that we will read. What is the defaulter? Now, he cannot generate the e-way bill for the outward supply, for outward movement. But can he purchase? Answer is yes. If Mr. A is a defaulter and let's say is purchasing the goods, Can Mr. A ka GST number is being used for inward movement? Absolutely yes. I have shown you the e-way bill format, right? In the e-way bill format, there is a bill from and bill to. His number, his GST number cannot be used in the bill from. But yes, bill to, there is no problem. What is the default? If he is under section 10, it means composition dealer. Then, if he is composition dealer, then not filed CMP 08 for 2 quarter. If he is other than composition, then not furnish the return for a 2 tax period. 2 tax period. It can be monthly, it can be quarterly. If the person other than clause A, it means regular dealer, has not furnished the statement of outward supply for 2 months or 2 quarter as the case may be. Okay. Being a person whose registration has been suspended. In the rule 21A, sub rule 2A, sub rule 1, sub rule 2, we have discussed multiple things wherein the registration can be suspended. Provided that the commissioner, on receipt of an application from a registered person in EWP 05, on sufficient cause being shown and reason to be recorded in writing, allow the furnishing of information in the party. So let's say Mr. A, who has defaulted, but he has given the request to the commissioner, shown the reason, and is satisfied. In that case, yes, his e-way bill blocking will be unblocked. No order rejecting the request. Always there is a fundamental right. Always the Indian Constitution provide the fundamental right to every person that any rejection of request, any unfavorable decision, require the reasonable opportunity, provided that permission granted or rejected by the commissioner of the state tax shall be deemed to be granted or rejected by the commissioner. So state का अगर कमिश्नर है, अगर उसने रिजेक्ट किया या उसने एक्सेप्ट किया, इट मींस इट इज एक्सेप्टेड और रिजेक्टेड बाय द स्टेट कमिश्नर, सेंट्रल कमिश्नर, एवरीवन. कमिश्नर shall mean the jurisdictional commissioner in respect of the clause A and the clause B, जो भी जिसके पास में भी आपका jurisdiction है. So now by this I have completed my chapter. Move to the fire round of the question answer. Any question if you like to ask, you can unmute and ask the question. No problem.
Yes, sir. Just I want to ask one question. If
Please.
we sell goods on X basis,
X work.
yeah, X work, and our buyer is picking material from our factory,
Correct.
and we do not generated in e-way bill,
Correct.
and transporter is also not generated the e-way bill.
Correct.
So whose liability will become if vehicle is penalized or there is cashed by
Point
officer?
is to cause the movement of the goods. In your case, if it is X factory, then I can say recipient is basically causing the movement. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Then the rule 138 basic requirement that who causes the movement, the recipient will generate the e-way bill.
Okay.
Then further, if you go to the means penalty provision section 129, section 130, wherein it is being given that yes, e-way bill, in case of e-way bill default, truck can be captured by the officer, and then some penalty would be raised on the transporter also. He will not release the goods. He will not release the truck also. So it is not the responsibility of the prima facie rule 138. One says that the person who causing the movement has to generate the e-way bill. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Within how many time the e-way bill can be rejected?
Sir, are you asking
How
question?
many, within how many time period for rejecting the e-way bill?
Sir, it is 72 hours.
Correct, correct. Can you tell me that the additional, so what is the time period to maintain the books of accounts? What is the time period to maintain the books of accounts? कितना time तक हमें books रखना पड़ेगा?
6 years.
Correct. And anything else additionally?
Additional 1 year, sir.
When in case of appeal? Absolutely correct, Hemant. Absolutely correct. Absolutely. So what is the limit for e-way bill within the state? What is the limit for e-way bill within the state? Within the state का movement, what is the limit? Depend upon the respective rule 130 of state, because it can be different. It can be different. The power has been taken from the CGST. State can decide their own rule. Correct? If the goods are being moved through motorized vehicle and supply to customer distance is only 1 kilometer, well, the e-way bill would be required. Supply to customer distance is 1 kilometer. Let's say I'm sitting in the Delhi border and you are in Haryana border. From my location to your location, it is only 1 kilometer. From my location to your location, it is only 1 kilometer. Tell me, will the e-way bill would be required?
Sir, please tell again the border's name.
Delhi to Haryana. It is interstate movement. Distance is 1 kilometer only. From supply to customer, movement is through motorized vehicle. Will the e-way bill would be required?
No, sir.
Answer is yes. Answer is yes. When the e-way bill ka exemption is there, if there is no exemption with respect to kilometer wise to complete e-way bill, only half exemption is there. What was that exemption?
You have told about that 1.5 kilometer something.
Not 1.5 kilometer. No, beta. 50 kilometer within state from transporter to from business place to the transporter. In this example, I am saying state is changed. Will that relaxation come? No, because that relaxation was only for part B, not for part A. I am saying that will the e-way bill would be required? Sir, in any case, there is no exemption for kilometer wise exemption with respect to e-way bill. कोई exemption नहीं है. See, try to understand. One exemption we have discussed with respect to 50 kilometer one day within state 50 kilometer. That is with respect to part B. Second relaxation we have discussed in 138.5 from transporter to the consignee within state, no require of updation. Third exemption we have discussed, if goods are going to the way bridge 20 किलोमीटर नो ई-वे बिल वुड बी रिक्वायर्ड. बट इन तीन के अलावा हमने कहीं भी एग्जेम्पशन नहीं पढ़ा कि डिस्टेंस वाइज इफ द गुड्स आर बीइंग सोल्ड टू द कस्टमर नो रिलैक्सेशन. डिस्टेंस वाइज में हमेशा कंफ्यूज मत होना, ऑलवेज ई-वे बिल वुड बी रिक्वायर्ड. ठीक है, लेट्स मूव फर्दर. लेट्स मूव फर्दर. Any provision which is not yet effective in the e-way bill. Can you tell me any provision which is not yet effective in the e-way bill? Any provision which is not yet effective.
Sir, actually, it was section rule 138 sub rule 7.
Correct, beta. What was that? Just concept.
Yes, sir. वो कौन सा?
No problem, beta. Thank you. No e-way bill generated, but the consolidated amount is more than 50,000. It is the responsibility of the transporter to make the e-way bill.
Yes, sir.
Correct. That was the provision. Absolutely correct. No problem. इतना आपने recall किया. That was very nice. ठीक है. Now tell me that value of the goods for the 50,000. One thing we have told that it will include, one thing we have told that it will not include. कुछ चीजें
value of exempted goods.
Absolutely correct. Value of the exempted goods add करना है कि less नहीं करना है? Include करना है
नहीं consider करना.
Absolutely correct. क्या चीज include होगा?
Value and only the value.
Value and
GST, sorry, value and the
absolutely.
tax.
So taxes will be included. Taxes would be included, but what would not be included? The exempted value will not be included. Can you tell me for exempted goods, will we require the e-way bill? For exempted goods, would the e-way bill would be required?
No, not required.
Any one item which is being excluded, actually, if you ask me.
Petrol.
Books.
Exempted नहीं, वो तो non taxable है. Sorry.
Books.
De-oiled cake. There is one something name is not easy. De-oiled cake, we not require the that is not covered in the exemption of e-way bill. Apart from this, all items which are exempted in the GST, no e-way bill. Petrol, answer is yes, no e-way bill. But for that, there is a different requirement because it is asking that non-taxable supplies, no e-way bill. Schedule 3 supply, no e-way bill. Can anybody give me the one example of Schedule 3? क्या कोई एक एग्जांपल दे सकता है शेड्यूल 3 का?
liquor for human consumption.
शेड्यूल 3 का नहीं है, वो तो चार्जिंग सेक्शन जो 9 है वहां से एक्सक्लूड है. No, no problem. Schedule 3 is not liable, matlab neither supply the goods nor supply the service, like sale of land, completed building, actionable claim other than specified actionable claim, non-taxable supply to the so the movement of the goods from non-taxable to non-taxable territory, high seas sale, salary. Do you remember? Correct.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. These are the basically point which we need to remember always. So then, with respect to backup of electronic record, we have discussed. Can you tell me what is the provision with respect to backup? What was the provision with respect to backup of electronic record? We need to take the backup. Why we need to take the backup? So that in case of destruction, these can be provided. See on the it can be provided. That's it. It can be easily restored. The information, whatever, it can be restored. Can you tell me any one document which is required, any additional requirement of the documentation, accounts and records for work contractor? एक additional requirement of work contractor बता दीजिए. What is the document which is need to be required by the work contractor? No idea. Anyone who can recall? Work per goods purchased for the purpose of our contract, executed, used, consumed.
एजेंट का याद आ रहा है एक्चुअली.
ओके बेटा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. गुड्स कितना, वो प्रिंसिपल का, हेमंत आपने भी मुझे ना एजेंट प्रिंसिपल वाला बताया, मैंने वर्क कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का पूछा था. बट ओनली पॉइंट दैट जस्ट रीड दी रूल्स एटसेट्रा इन दैट वे. ठीक है, in that way please kindly read. So we have discussed with respect to like work contract के लिए नेम, एड्रेस था, वैल्यू गुड्स था, क्वांटिटी था, कितना एग्जीक्यूट किया है वर्क्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के लिए, कितना वर्क कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को मैंने पेमेंट दिया है, क्या अकाउंट स्टेटमेंट दिया है, एटसेट्रा, कितना पेमेंट रिसीव किया. सॉरी, ठीक है. हमने एक बात की थी कि अगर मैं गुड्स इंपोर्ट कर रहा हूं तो मेरा जो ईवे बिल जनरेट होगा वो पार्ट ए में क्या जाएगा? विच डॉक्यूमेंट विल बी एंटर्ड इन द पार्ट ए?
Bill of entry.
Absolutely correct. Bill of entry. Very nice, very nice. And any one default by which I cannot generate the e-way bill? कोई एक default बता सकते हैं? There are 4-5 we have discussed that if I am
Not
falling in any one.
furnish. Not furnish GSTR 1, 2 months, 2 period, and GS not for GSTR 3B. Payment
Absolutely correct.
2 months.
Absolutely correct.
In case of composition supply, not file CMP 04.
4 नहीं,
GST
8.
composition.
CMP 8.
Okay.
अच्छा, एक चीज बताइए सब लोग मुझे, द ब्लॉकिंग वुड बी आउटवर्ड या इनवर्ड?
Outward supply.
Thank you very much. From my side, today class is completed. Any point which you like to discuss? No? Thank you and good night to all of you. And Ashok ji, आप wind up कर सकते हैं.
But we enjoy the class very much, sir.
Thank you, beta. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you.